You feel fake and unnatural because you're not direct enough, and you're not direct enough. You have you're not convincing. You don't have that confidence because too many things are pulling you in different directions at once. All right, and that's why you get lost. That's why you become uncertain, because you're uncertain. You have that fear, any type of fear of rejection, fear of not performing. They're all the same, and because of that fear, you are acting through it, and that's why you usually don't act at all, or when you act, it's just not as powerful as it can be. And in this video, I'm gonna destroy the illusion of those two things that are pulling you in different directions. Okay, so you can have a clear and powerful action when you speak, when you present, any type of action, both physical, conversational, practical, whatever. All right, so just straight to the point. So what happens? Two frameworks are pulling you in opposite directions simultaneously. So imagine this is you. What usually happens when you're trying to talk to someone or take action, present, have a serious conversation, even though it's not serious at all? So usually happens two things. Imagine this is you, and before taking action, two frameworks appear. The first one being, let's say, I'm confident, and the second one is, don't, let's say, mess up. Okay, you know what? It's not good. Don't get embarrassed. Don't get embarrassed or disrespected, misunderstood. So because thinking in its nature limited, thinking is based on your knowledge, thinking is based on your memory, huge network of words that are connected by association. For example, when I say apple, you can say tree. When I say cupboard, you can say wood. And opposites, black, white, water, fire. So because you have concept of being confident, you already create a concept of not getting embarrassed, disrespected, and misunderstood. And because you want to act as a confident person, or you want to be powerful, because you have this idea here, automatically you're not in control of that. You have a polar opposite of that. So this one is positive, boom, and this one is negative. And in that moment, if you pay attention closely, next time you have this moment, and it's very easy to track because it happens every day, it's not a hard task for you, abstractionally, you're somewhere here, right? Those both things are fighting each other. You're kind of sitting on a fence, all right? So those two things are playing around in your head, which creates so much tension. Because at one point you want to be confident and appear confident. On the other hand, at the same time, you're trying to not be embarrassed, disrespected, and misunderstood. And it becomes so neurotic because you want to say something or take action, and then immediately you second guess yourself. So you want to be here, but then this one here pulls you back. If I say this, what if they say this? When I do this, they're gonna think it's this. When I do this, they're gonna compare me to this, and it's always in the loop. And because you're in the middle, you just become like a blank slate, like let's say boring person. Let's say boring person. We can call it boring, even though it's another name. It doesn't matter, but still, for the sake of your understanding, to make it easy, we call it boring. We call it less confident or no confident at all. There's no less confidence, just no confidence. Person with no substance. Person with just put any negative name to it. And you can see it in yourself and in other people immediately, and other people can read it in you. You definitely had those moments, right? That's what makes everything awkward and uncomfortable. For example, you're trying to have a serious conversation, and because on one hand you want to say it, But on the other hand, you don't want to be perceived a certain way. You sound like this. It's a very exaggerated example. I wanted to talk to you. It's kind of I'm thinking of and it's already trash. Okay, it's already rubbish. And that's why perception of other people of you're gonna be is not gonna be as powerful. You're not gonna be convincing, and you're not gonna be you're not gonna be perceived as a brave person. Again, another label. But anyways, and on top of that bullshit, after the action, after the conversation, you feel guilty for doing action this way, for speaking this way. Now, the turning point, I think it relates to everybody, correct? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Let me see if I forgot anything. What else here? So yeah, performance to close this gap. You're trying to perform. You try not to perform in order to close this gap, which creates trying, right? So you're trying now. You're trying to be confident because you believe that you are here for some reason. That's another point. Yeah, I remembered. So that's the confusion. You're trying to be confident because you already think that you're here, that you're the one who is going to get embarrassed. You're trying to be convincing, but you already assume that you're here, that you're negative. All right? You're trying to say something, but you're already afraid of being ashamed, so you're here again. And because you have two ideas, you come here again. And it's like, those awkward moments are purely based on this picture right here. So like you're trying to say something brave, but like you second guess yourself in the moment, and then it all becomes in the middle, and it's like you don't know how people are gonna react, right? And people react accordingly to whatever you're projecting, and you feel it in other people as well. You can tell that other person is trying too hard. So performance trying to close the gap between them is what creates fakeness, what creates a lot of awkwardness, unnaturalness, and so much effort. And when you create so much effort, you're not even there anymore, all right? So what changes? When both are seen as automatic patterns, the conflict loses intensity on its own. It's a little bit incorrect. No, it is correct, but I have to add something else. The absolute realization that you have to come up with on your own is that both of those things, which is confidence and shame, confidence, embarrassment, being powerful, being weak, they're all concepts, and they're all share the same words. If you never noticed, words are the same everywhere. Language, words are the same everywhere. Let me illustrate it for you in a way that it's simple and you can see it easily. So let's say this is confidence. All right, this is confidence, and this is let's say, what is the opposite of confidence? Confidence, let's say insecure. Or okay, you know what? Scared. Yeah, scared is good. Let's say we have those two things here traditionally, right? Even though they don't exist, but again, for the sake of your understanding, because it's hard to understand for you, those things exist, right? For example, and words universally the same. Words. I'll put words here. So look, no matter if you're scared, no matter if you're confident, no matter if you're ashamed, no matter if you feel sad or angry, you use the same words. You can even use them in the same patterns, in the same order. They're still words. But depending on the framework that you're using, that you're acting from, automatically the whole message and the whole perception of you changes. For example, what I mean by that, let's say there is an apology, not an apology, let's say let's start with apology, like I'm sorry, I am sorry, yada yada yada, something happened. And again, those are very exaggerated examples, but it's very important. So if you feel guilty, and again, even though guilt doesn't exist, if you feel guilty traditionally, because you're trained culturally, the whole message you will say to a person when you feel guilty is gonna be fucked up, and it's gonna be rubbish. Let's say you work at customer service and you're working with a serious client and you fucked up. Let's say you have an agency, or you're a sales manager, or you are the worker himself, or you missed the deadline, whatever the situation. And let's say you're coming from that state of being scared. How it usually sounds in exaggerated way. Oh, I'm so sorry, this happened, that happened, we didn't miss out, I'm so sorry, we can refund you the money, we can give you some other benefits, yada 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 yada. And you can say the same words, the same sentences in a completely different way if you remove the second part here. For example, hey, I'm so sorry, this happened, I understand this is very unprofessional, and I'll make sure we'll do everything to make it right for you, and on top of that, we'll do those benefits, we'll return the money, yada yada yada. And you might think, well, if you don't feel guilty, then it's not, genuine, which is completely false. You can be confident and still be sincere or genuine, and it feels even stronger. That's what's beautiful about it. Or let me give you another example, exaggerated example. Let's say you're making a joke, right? And it's unfunny joke. Or not even, okay, you know what? Not even a joke, just a comment. Let's say a playful comment. Let's say you're making a playful comment, correct? Again, when you have two frameworks playing together, you're trying to say something playful because you want to be social. You learned from someone that you have to go out there, say something. And when you say something and you're between those two frameworks, how it usually happens? You say something. I don't know. Let's say I just can't think of any examples. Give me a minute. It's hard for me to come up with examples just like that because I'm not in a situation, but I'll use blah blah blah. So let's say you want to make a playful comment, but you're hesitant, you're between here. You want to appear a certain way, but you're afraid it's gonna take in the wrong way, and you're like blah 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 blah, and it's awkward. Or you definitely met those people who are very charismatic, very outgoing, and they can just say shit, they can just say something playful and then laugh. They just entertain themselves. They don't care. They don't have this second framework. You just go with this, and it perceived, even if it's not funny, it's still like it's such a good impact. You kind of go with them, and it's laughable. It's not even fake. It's still natural. Like yada 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 yada. and then you're laughing all together. This is bad examples, but I think it's close for you to understand what I mean by that. That's why when you don't have a second framework, all your messages are very direct, because you're not pulled in no direction. You're more direct, you're more raw, you're more there's just more, some certain there's something certain about it. Like just like instead of having a dull knife, there's just a very there's sharpness into it, and you can look at the person. You don't have this second guessing, and you look at the person and it perceived differently as well, just piercing through you. So no matter what state you're in, the words stay the same, in the same order, in the same pattern, generally. Okay, so now the turning point again. If you understand that those states don't matter because words are the same everywhere, then universally it doesn't matter from which state, like which states you're choosing or which states you're trying to achieve or you're trying to become psychologically. You know what I mean? So if those things don't exist, Words are the same. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Even that question even that question is wrong, actually. All that's left, one sec. So all that's left is pure action. In a nutshell, when you're trying to sound confident, when you're trying to be something, you're already acting like it's impossible to achieve this. If you're thinking about trying to appear a certain way, you're already lost, because you have an image that you want to be a certain way, and then it didn't come from nowhere, it came from here, which is the opposite. So you're already playing by the rules of the opposite. So you're already that. That's a good, like, a note to keep in mind. When you, next time when you're thinking of trying to sound a certain way or taking action a certain way, you're already lost. That's over. It's rubbish. Because you're acting from here, not from here. And to act from here, you have to remove here, this part here. And to remove this part here, you have to come into a huge realization that this here and this here, they don't exist. And because you don't bother with having those states in mind, I have to sound like this, I have to be like this, I have to be powerful like this, it just clear direct action in the moment. Alright? That's it. Think about it very hard and watch my other videos for fuller context. This is absolutely shockingly revolutionary to the traditional way of improving yourself psychologically and mentally. Bye.